Your cats are capable of destroying a bulletproof glass house?
Dude, at one point I had a 25-pound tabby that like tore down walls at one point. Things cats do just don't even surprise me anymore.
Okay, I guess we'll leave it at this. And hello and welcome everybody to the AWKWARDCast. Hey,
I think that was the first time the guest made something awkward to start the show.
I don't know. Anyways, and Keyframe wonder about Random Dribble, and today, once again, with the disembodied voice and the beautiful smile of Lio Convoy. Welcome back, Leo.
Oh, you poor souls. You must have been desperate to call upon me again.
Maybe. No, I mean, we know that that's actually Leo's face. He's just talking through his teeth.
Exactly.
Oh, that would be horrifying.
No, it is. It is. Believe us.
It'd be like the fucking butler in Cats Don't Dance that only moves his lips, but his teeth stay clenched shut. Very good. But Leo, who are you? What do you do? And why should people care?
Perfect segue.
Correct. I am Lio Convoy. I talk about cartoons. I talk about comics. I talk about weapons. I talk about basically whatever's on my mind at the time. And why should people care? I don't know if they should or not, but I'm going to put my opinion out there and find out who gets pissed off anyways and then make fun of them, and then I get banned on Twitter again.
Oh, yeah, this happens frequently, doesn't it?
Well, it happened because I made Zoophiles very, very upsetty spaghetti at me, so they mass-reported my account twice. And this is after one of them tried to get somebody to come to my house and kill me for being a danger to their community. Dead serious.
Care to expound?
Okay, so I will, but I also gotta find the image if I can. Oh, that's right, I put it in here. Okay, so while I'm finding that image, I'll go ahead and go on the tirade here. A few months ago, Anthony had got somebody onto his podcast that was trying to actually argue for ethical sexual relations with animals. And I just got done with the Gundam meetup I run here in the Houston area. And I turned on my phone, I looked in the comment section. The first thing I see is Anthony typing in, "I don't want to be here anymore." So I hit him up, I'm like, "Hey, can I come on?" He's like, "Please do." And that's when we realized I am the nuclear option. Because what happens is this person tries to do the armchair intellectualism with me. And I'm not putting up with it. I just mock them. I just start making fun of this person. Because if you go in there and you're actually trying to play pretend that there's an argument to be had here for having sexual encounters with animals, we're not going to have a nice, fun conversation. I'm just going to insult you because I find your entire point laughable. So what happened is this person's boo got super, ultra, mega offended that I made fun of their girlfriend and started trying to talk trash to me on Twitter. And it spiraled into madness. And they got super mad that I said something offensive. And one of the head honchos of these groups got real mad. And let me see here. Found the image. Let me go ahead and put this in chat. And tweeted out. Let's see here.
Where's the image appear? So I can put it on the big screen.
I am putting it up now on the chat. He tweeted this out. He tweeted this gem out. Because I should be dealt with. Because I'm dangerous.
Aha.
Leo man bad, you see.
I say we deal with him. Get the raccoons.
I mean, I guess it's a compliment to a certain degree that they take you so serious as a threat that they need.
Well, my response.
There's no way to spin this than utter stupidity.
It is, and that's why I started pointing it out and making fun of them. Of course, all these are now deleted because I didn't feel like having my account taken down for a third time. So ultimately, I said, okay, sure, let somebody come over because here's how this is going to end. Either none of you are going to show up because you're pussies, or one of you is going to show up. You're going to be dumb. I'm going to take you out, and then nothing's going to happen because that's one less zoophile in the world. And I live in Texas. That's the worst place to try to assault somebody in their home. Are you stupid?
Yes, that's why they did this. I think you answered your own question.
The kicker is this dude, this Wintergreen Wolf, wound up going ham on me, not just because of this, but because we actually wound up at one point getting this guy in barrel. And he admitted in the call we had with him and Beryl that he knows animals can't consent. And when I started talking about that, that's when he freaked out about me on everything and started making sure everybody was mass reporting my tweets. And when I countered and reported theirs, because they were making threats and whatnot, the report I got back from Twitter is that, what was it? My reports were not really taken seriously, but their reports were because it says that I was harassing them for their sexual orientation.
Bestiality is not a sexual orientation.
According to Twitter, it is.
Isn't it a fetish? I would say.
It's a fetish.
Well, it's not even a fetish. It's a paraphilia, which is it's a disorder, a mental disorder.
I guess because being sexually attracted to a lesser being, a beast.
Yes.
Should not. Your brain should not work like this.
No, it should not. But these people are like, well, we need acceptance. I'm like, no acceptance for you. None.
I mean, acceptance followed by therapy. I don't know. Accept that they need therapy. I don't know.
Well, I'm a little bit more aggressive than that. My answer is, all right, you like animals, let's stick you in the middle of the wild of Africa, and we'll see how you do. It's all right. I'm sure the lions will like you very much, and the leopards.
Be careful. If things go horribly sideways, he will literally sleep his way up to the top and become the new king of Africa, so...
Well, if he does at that point, I think he's earned it. But more importantly, there is one thing these people have not realized, and this is going to get a little gross, but I do apologize. All these people that have relations with their dogs specifically, it's amazing how many of these dogs die of liver problems. And the reason why that is because the canine phallus is porous, more so than most phalluses of other animals. So when they are on the receiving end for these dogs, all the human bacteria and all the human diseases go into the dog and destroy the liver. So that's why these dogs
Mr.
don't
Peanut
live.
Butter.
Yes. So that's what these idiots are doing. Like, well, we're not harming the animal. Well, technically you are. You're just stupid and you don't want to notice it because, gee, what? I wonder why all these zoophiles dogs keep dying of liver problems. It's almost like there's a pattern here. Morons.
Okay, let's change the topic.
Yeah,
I mean, you gave a warning that it gets nasty, but this is actually that was a fact that I was not aware of. I mean, having grown up with dogs, I actually probably get an idea because it completely receives in the shaft and shit. So it makes sense that it's more sensitive, but okay, I was not aware of this fact. And yeah, okay, yes, it's not just a disease on the human side of it. Anyway, so what else is going on in your life, Leo?
Okay, so not last week, but the week before that, I was on vacation, and I went to TFCon in DC, which is a Transformer convention. Currently, it's one of the biggest Transformer conventions since BotCon died in 2016, which I still very much so miss. And the convention was fun. I spent way too much money, but the hotel was atrocious that we stayed in for the first part of the week. Like, I've never, ever been in a hotel this bad. I went full Karen on them, and it was not fun. Not for anyone involved. I wound up getting a full refund, but I spent a lot of money at the convention, got to see some neat stuff, got to spend time with the wife. She did some tourism, got pictures of the Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, you know, all the typical tourist spots of D.C. We tried to drive by the White House, but apparently our stay coincided with close to the Marines' birthday, and the devil dogs were all out and about doing what they needed to do to get ready for that, so all those streets were closed off. But other than that, in work, nothing really big is going on.
Okay, I mean, this might sound a little bit hypocritical coming from somebody who went to conventions which were dedicated to only a single show, but so Transformer conventions, what do you have there? Like, I mean, Transformers at least has more generations to go through. What a convention explicitly dedicated to Transformers? How does it look like?
Well, It depends on what your appeal there is for. There are some people that go there to look at the newest third-party stuff, which are unlicensed Transformers done by different companies. There are people who go there for the guests. There was Dan Gilvezan, the voice of Generation 1 Bumblebee there. There was David Sobolov, who was the voice of Depth Charge from Beast Wars and Shockwave from Transformers Prime. There were different writers from the comics. There was Vince DiCola, who is one of the artist for the Transformer movie soundtrack from 1986. He was also the composer for the Rocky IV soundtrack. So it depends on your preference.
With the robot?
What?
Was that the Rocky that had the robot in it? Or was that Rocky 3?
I think this is the one with the Drago, Ivan Drago.
Oh, I will break you.
I will break you.
Okay.
Yes. What is your prediction? Pain. So some people go for the guests, some people go for the artists that are there. Specifically, Alex Mine is a very, very well-known, very beloved artist because he did the IDW Transformer comics, and a lot of the young girls from Tumblr are very much so fond of that comic, so they show up to support him. And, you know, it's funny, but I like seeing new blood in the community like that because they're very passionate, regardless of the fact that a lot of them are more interested in ships and whatnot. It's still lifeblood. It's still nice to see younger.
Blood is blood.
What is blood? But moving on. But most of the people there, myself specifically, they go there looking for things they can't usually find online or to see things that they haven't seen in person. I was specifically looking for different exclusives from BotCon previously. I was able to find one of them, and the others were so ridiculously out of my price range now that it wasn't even funny. There was one called Fractal and Pack Rat that came in a 2-pack. They were a BotCon exclusive back in 1997. 3 years ago, you could pick that up for $300. Now it's about $1,100.
1997 is an expensive year because all the best things came from that.
Well, it's more the fact that BotCon doesn't exist now, so the rarity of it's been inflated falsely. So that makes my job a little more difficult when I'm trying to find these things. Mostly it's because a lot of boomers like me, we just like collecting things, so we show up to do that. I got a couple of third-party stuff myself this past weekend that were not cheap, but they're mine now, so I guess I get to deal with them.
On the level of expensive to regrettable decision, where do they stand?
I don't regret them, but the ones I bought they're not cheap. They're not hyper expensive, but they're not cheap. But they're quality. Let me go ahead and pull one up for you.
Sure.
Gonna take me a moment.
But yeah, I mean, overall, it sounds pretty similar to example, Brony Convention, where you also have like the different celebrities who are producing the official content come as community guests. I mean, there's less third-party stuff going on, but more like artists doing their stuff independently.
Arty thing.
Yeah, there it comes.
Now, as far as third-party stuff on the pony side, when I was at BronyCon, I saw some things, mostly things like plushes and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But with Transformers, there's like entire companies now that produce third-party Transformers that are fully functional, like the one I'm showing you right now.
Mm.
That thing looks like a goddamn Yu-Gi-Oh card come to life. That does not look like a Transformer.
Oh wait, he turns into this dude?
He turns into a dragon!
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
What kind of kaiju-ass bullshit is this?
That's actually the final form of Beast Wars Megatron.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, Beast Wars, that was a thing.
Like that thing.
I'm not saying the thing is bad, I just always forget Beast Wars because it's such a different thing from because I grew up with Gen 1 Transformers, and then Beast Wars just kind of skipped my radar.
Well, you ought to give it a chance. I mean, okay.
I don't think it's bad by any means. It was just not the thing I grew up with.
I mean, I partially grew up with it because, of course, I was still young in the 90s, but I also grew up with Generation 1. But we'll get into this more when we cover, our media, because Beast Wars is my choice this time, specifically because I've got a lot to say about it. But it was very well done, despite the fact that the people who wrote it had only previously written, like, He-Man before it.
So you would say it's a glow-up?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. But yeah, if that's all you got, I guess we should move on to the eventful lives of our hosts.
Ha!
Yes.
Max.
Stuff this week happening. So I didn't even necessarily made it out of the house. I believe last weekend I already was in possession of Outer Worlds. I played surprisingly little Outer Worlds this week because since it's not my media, I guess I can bring it up. As a follow-up to last week's media, when did I talk about the Never Hero? It was last week, wasn't it?
No, you talked about Adam's Family last week.
No, I mentioned it, but you already
Oh,
had
you
it
mentioned it. Did you mention Never Heroes? You may have.
I believe Never Hero was my media last week. So, and the one where I was very enraged by the sudden stop of the first book.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
how I instantly
had
bought the second one. So, yeah, the second audiobook, 20 hours long, I already finished within 1 week. At some points, I even listened to it doing work.
Okay.
I've done that.
I mean,
Which is surprising because you usually can't listen to things that are words.
I know. I believe I could only do it on 1 day for an hour when I had something really, really brain dumb to do.
Brain
dumb. And I also kept listening while I was at home, so I could not play Outer Worlds because an action RPG has too much talking and whatnot going on to at the same time listen to something else. So I opted to play a few more of those beat-up challenges in Arkham City. I have to say, second book, it's still good. It continues the story, but it has one glaring flaw in it.
And that
which I need to share because it really was like souring the experience. It has, I would say without exaggeration, I didn't stop the time, but it has like an hour of non-stop exposition in it.
Oh no.
Oh yes, I mean the author really tried to mix it up, but it was two characters got together. A lot of the mysteries from the first book, like you have the the character in the know.
It's making you sick.
It does, doesn't it? The character in the know and the protagonist, and they get together and they have a long ongoing Q&A with all the questions from the first book being answered to advance the plot. And the author really tries everything. So for some elements of the story, they go into a holographic projection, so we have a little bit of change in scenery and stuff. And every few pages, it's an audiobook. Every few minutes we switch to side characters for a minute or two and seeing how their plot develops. But at the end of the time, it's supposed to happen in real time. So everything the side characters do also can only happen in those in-story 2 hours where the exposition is happening. And I was at some point like sitting there like, whoa, what's a meme again? Get on with it!
Yeah, get on with it.
Get on with it! Get on with it! I was like, guys, please, stop it. Find some way to don't have it all in direct speech between two characters, so you need to include all the emotions and whatnot. Spread it out over the book. I mean, obviously for plot reasons, there is a reason why they do not spread it out over more time, but in this one dense part in the first quarter of the book, but oof. I need to stop the time.
Hour long.
I would say I'm pretty sure it was easily an hour, if not more, because I had the feeling that it was going on forever. I did something parallel to it, and I was like, holy fuck, it's still going. It's still just exposition. Anyways. But yeah, this actually with Outer Worlds, work, and the Never Paradox. My week was pretty full with all that stuff.
I got stories.
Oh boy!
Because I said that I had one thing of stories, but then I looked around my room and I was like, no, I have more. I don't know if I've become the Jesse or the Krendor of this cast, because my life is both mundane and yet I attract weirdness in like the same kind of magnetic field that is my aura. But mundane things was I've been working, and I've actually had a positive upturn in my health, physically wise, because I don't talk about my physical health a lot, but it's been basically through most of October I couldn't eat. September and October, because my stomach was just not, just was like, oh, food, nah. Not that I didn't try, but my medication that lowers my anxiety has made me start to accumulate more calorie intake in my life, which I needed, because I couldn't go to the gym for basically half the month, because I was like, I shouldn't go to a thing that will cause me to burn calories when I don't even think I've consumed enough calories to maintain my basic metabolic functions. So it's for my safety. But that's gotten better. But that leads into my favorite fucking story of today, which happened yesterday or today at 2 a.m. at the gym. Now, before you ask, Chrissy, why are you at the gym at 2 a.m.? Anyways, no, I go to the gym late at night if I can't go during the day. And originally I was going to go during the day, but Brett got pulled aside for family things, and the gym is too far to walk, and I don't own a bike. So I was kind of, here, sitting. So I went to the gym at like 12:30 at night, and worked out. For once, no one was terrified of me. And while I was waiting for Brett to get there, I was like, I can start to consume caffeine again. I know I can handle a cup of coffee. Let's test this threshold and buy an energy drink, which is always a good idea. And I find weird flavors a lot.
Was this the same night where you then asked for something, some audiobooks to lull you into sleep?
Here's the thing, I didn't drink the energy drink. I'm currently drinking it now, because what happened next kind of just was like, I think today should end. But no, the flavor that I saw, when something just seems like a bad idea, but you do it anyway for the story.
Story of my life.
That is what happens when you find an energy drink called birthday cake. So I was just kind of, the thing is, I opened it last night. I had a sip, but I didn't drink the whole thing. And I opened it at the gym after I bought it. And there were two ladies who were running the front desk at the gym. And I was like, and they were like, does that say birthday cake? I was like, oh, yeah, it does. And I opened it and I smelt it. No joke, it smells exactly like a fucking cake, or like a Cold Stone cake kind of ice cream thing. And I was like, what? Why? And then it was like, and one of the ladies was like, can I smell it? And I was like, yeah, sure, buddy, go ahead. And we were just so confused. And one lady was like, but I've heard Bang energy drinks are better than most energy drinks. And I was like, oh, yeah, sure, I drink Bang a lot. And then the other lady was like, yeah, but they also support Trump, though. And then just looked at me. And I'm like,
what? So do taxes.
One lady could have said this before I bought the fucking drink. 2, it wouldn't have stopped me from buying the drink. 3, what are you accusing me of with your eyes? Like, what is the implication here? I'm here in a fucking My Hero Academia tank top and rainbow leggings, like the ones that look like a fucking laser light show that most of my friends hate.
Yes.
Mostly that one, who has said it's one of the ugliest things he's ever seen. But no, just fucking, and I'm just like, of all the people in this gym, in this town in Los Angeles that you could say that you think is a Trump supporter.
The blue hair gave it away.
Yes.
I mean,
oh yeah, it's totally. I mean,
you hate minorities, clearly.
Yeah, blue is the new orange.
Blue
But
is no Republican red.
If we can meme it, we can dream it.
no, just fucking. And then I left the gym, picked up Brent. Was like, so I was the gym, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know. And he's like, are you going to drink that?
No,
I'm not sure anymore.
I'm gonna let it out on my table and get stale for half a day until I drink it during the podcast so I can tell a story.
Well, yeah, but can I tell you what this tastes like?
Birthday cake?
Not good. But no, the thing about that's not good about it is that it does taste like fucking birthday cake. It tastes like if you got like birthday cake flavored ice cream or something. And that's usually a good thing. But this doesn't have the consistency of ice cream, a milkshake, nor a cake. It has the consistency of fucking soda pop. You know how some people in movies make robots like fry their brains out by telling them contradictions and oxymorons? This is that in a can. Because, like, I can't contradict the texture of soda and the flavor of cake intersecting in any way. There should be no double helix of flavor and texture like this ever. And yet I bought it. It's kind of like but I can't stop drinking it. Which is the worst part. It's like that fucking hipster soda that we got at fucking Schillerberger, where it was just like, this is bad. Yeah. This is really bad.
It's true. But yeah, you see, that's how the Republicans work nowadays. You are now a Trump voter. In 2020, due to drinking this one energy drink, you will have to make the cross.
It's someone like, is it like if you buy a Bang energy drink, you get slapped with an I voted button, and it's like
no. It actually,
wait, what?
It grows out of your skin. It's actually now a part of you.
It's a tattoo.
Oh my God! Those MAGA heads. They are not heads.
They're tumors.
They are, yeah, but not tumors in the sense of wildly growing. No, they are these. You had too many Bang energy drinks, and it starts to grow out of your head.
You go to Chick-fil-A too many times.
Oh no.
Those darn chicken sandwiches made you a MAGA hat. No, but fucking besides that, I had one other story, and it was going to be my media, but I decided that I just had to put it in my week because I wanted to talk about a good thing in my media. But this is amazing. So I use Amazon Prime because I'm a filthy person that needs to have the premium things because I don't want to deal with ads and shipping costs.
Same.
And last night with some people I know, we were watching a thing. I mean, Max, you have Amazon Prime, so you can look it up. You can, or can I link an Amazon Prime thing?
I guess if I'm logged in. What? Okay, I literally just googled Amazon Prime and it gives me some kinky outfits. Honestly, no.
Now that compiles based on your past history, Max.
I have not looked for kinky ladies outfit. I have looked for some things which I will not disclose, but definitely not what it is currently displaying to me. Oh wait, we have a link now.
Cool.
Ooh. I don't know.
I don't want to go further in my mind with the web that is coming in my brain of what the undisclosed item is. This gets put a pin in. No, it's this thing called The Secret Life of Cars, which is 2 minutes long, and it's nothing but these cars that are made in graph paper just driving and honking their horns. And that's it.
I'm supposed to buy this, a 2-minute video for $5.
But the thing is, that astounded me. If I remember where I put it.
On DVD for 15.
No, because it would be one thing if it was just an Amazon Prime video. It's also available on Blu-ray.
Why?
I wish I was joking. I'm trying to find it. Here it is. You can pre-order The Secret Life of Cars on Blu-ray. Like, here it is. And when you look at the fucking, like, product details, runtime, 2 minutes. Who wasted a Blu-ray disc for 2 minutes of footage? And you can get it for $20.
I don't know. That sounds like a steal to me. I don't know.
But the other amazing thing is that on Prime Video, if you look up The Secret Life of Cars, or Secret Life of Cars, it has sequels. And they like double in length. So like the second one is a CGI one that's 4 minutes long, and like it has like opening text that says like, in a world without humans or animals, cars live freely. And it's just 4 minutes of cars driving in this not good looking rendered set, just honking at each other with buildings that they can't go into because they're cars and the buildings don't got doors.
I mean,
and then the third one, which is titled Secret Lives of Cars, in parentheses, Revision 2, which means it's the second time it was rendered, is 20 minutes. At least this one has voice acting, but it has also a shit ton of licensed music from like AC/DC and Marvin Gaye, where you can't hear the voice acting. And there's a race sequence in it where it has in parentheses slow motion footage, and this sequence takes place for like 4 minutes.
Fantastic.
Now I want to know, how did you watch it? Could you watch it for free on Amazon, or did you pay
I can
money?
watch it for free on Amazon.
Why can I not? I can only watch the trailer. Oh, this title is not available at your location, so it's even region locked.
VPN that hoe.
But the thing is, this cast was sponsored by NordVPN. We promise we won't get hacked again. But no, fucking me. Of course, it's the group that always somehow finds things. Chris, Sean, Will, my buddies, and we were just sitting there, astounded that this existed. And like, we were just like, how long are we into this? And we were only like into 5 minutes, and it was like, wait, what? And like,
I mean, that's twice the runtime of the original, so.
No, the thing is, how do you go from a 2 minute stop motion graph paper thing to a fucking 20-minute film? And yet you pick the 2 minute one to put onto Blu-ray?
Sometimes you just gotta switch it up.
Yeah.
I just like, I feel like it's genius. I don't think this is just some ignorant kid or something. I think this is a fucking genius just doing an experiment. But
then again, I haven't seen a single review on either of the movies on Prime or on the actual DVD page, so I guess nobody actually buys it.
Here's the thing. Chris is tempted to buy it to do a Blu-ray review. But I'm just like, but no, here's the thing.
Freaks aside.
I just want to know. I just want to know. I don't want to, on one hand, I don't want to waste $20. On the other hand, I could own a Blu-ray that only has 2 minutes of content on it. And who else can say that they have that? Besides someone who just owns blank Blu-ray discs. It's kind of like the guy who has 250 copies of the movie Speed on VHS. There is no logistical reason why he has that and keeps it in his van with his 40 laser discs of the movie Speed.
So, talking about media.
Link in the description. But no.
To what? To what do I even link?
The Blu-ray pre-order, obviously.
No, I'm not. People can look this up themselves. I refuse
Let me
to
ask
link
before I get
this.
to my good media. Does this compete or exceeds the time that I brought Joe Drinks Water to the podcast?
I mean, as
bad content.
As sad as it is, Joe Drinks Water at least has. I mean, first of all, it's on YouTube, so it's free. So this always gives it a kind of leeway to do their thing, and it actually there is something behind it because he did it like for a year. It doesn't just feel like a children's project that somebody tries to capitalize on. So yeah,
It's not a children's project. This man is 24.
obviously, but still.
But no, okay, my good media is I love NSP, Ninja Sex Party, and they recently released their music. They recently released their music video for their first song from their Under the Covers Volume 3. And I think I like the cover more than I like the original We Built This City. Which is something, because I really like We Built This Series. I don't get why people hate foreigners so much. But, like, it's so fucking good. And, for one thing, I just love their music videos so much, even when they're doing serious music. Dan, I just feel, is a man who took a time machine and just appeared in the 2010s. Like, he doesn't look like a man from this millennium.
I wouldn't even be sure in which time he's supposed to belong, period.
I think when hair metal was a thing. I think he was literal Rock of Ages. And that is why he is the perfect man. Like, he is and for one thing, yes, people, believe it or not, this man is 40. How is this man 40? But no, the thing is, just wanted to promote Under the Covers because I think this probably has my favorite lineup of songs that they're doing ever, because you have We Built This City, you have Down Under by Men at Work, you have Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel, you have Safety Dance, you have Don't Fear the Reaper, you have Closer to the Heart, and it's just like, I fucking love all these songs. And if you look at the pre-order website, they do have like previews, and all of them sound good. The only thing that I'm sad about is one of the tracks that they were going to have on the CD. They cut it, which was I Want to Be Starting Something by Michael Jackson, which I really wanted to hear because that sounded really good. But they cut it out because of all the Leaving Neverland bullshit, though most of that got debunked. And it's just like, I understand business perspective wise that was probably the best decision of no controversy kind of thing. But the thing is, I think that opens the conversation of separating the art from the artist, because there's no denying that MJ's music has cultural significance. So, and also it's kind of the thing of, I mean, there's also the thing of that a lot of the Leaving Neverland stuff got proven to not be true. So it's just kind of like it's kind of the thing of you're spreading a false narrative and just accentuating the statements of others because people look at feelings more than facts. And I mean, I'm not blaming NSP for doing a decision that they didn't, because who wants fucking drama? You're releasing a cover album and your band is called Ninja Sex Party. So it's like, I understand it, but I'm just sad because I feel like it probably would have been a really great track, because they did do Rock With You on their first Under the Covers.
They're not going to release it at all, so it's not just cut from the album, the production
It's cut from the album, and there's no word on if they're going to release it as a single later on or something. And it was fully recorded, so it was fully made for the album already, but they cut it.
It will surface at some point then.
It will surface at some point, probably, but I'm just kind of like, I'm just disappointed because I felt like it could have been really good, because they did do covers of Michael Jackson songs previously and they did a really good job. So I was so hyped for that because that's one of my favorite songs in general. And I was like, yeah! Oh. But still, I totally recommend people buying this album. I mean, they are still at this point an independent label, and I think every one of their albums for like the past like 2 years have been on the Billboard charts and like actually chart above legit artists, and I really respect that. I support independent creators. And so I think people should pre-order it because it comes out November 15th. And the only pre-order that's out so far is the deluxe edition, which is an autographed CD and a poster and stuff, which is $37. And I'm just going to wait until they just have the physical CD orders by themselves. But yeah, I really recommend it. And also watch the We Built This City video on YouTube because it's good music and y'all should respect the classics
And these
by
links,
listening to a cover
yeah.
from 2019.
And these links you will find below.
Oh,
Because
so
I'm
you'll link
gladly
Ninja
putting...
Sex Party, but you won't link Secret Life of Cars.
Yes, yes,
Man,
you
we gotta
can...
have standards.
It's almost like you have a bias towards quality.
Exactly. But yeah, Leo, how about you continue with the medias?
Well, I was actually going to be courteous and let you go.
Oh.
Let you go.
Okay.
Ladies first.
Oh, thank you. I kind of forgot that there was actually a third item, or fourth if we count work, but please, who counts work? Fourth item which happened, which consumed time of me throughout the week, which would be the long expected, and actually also for a while now out, and I kind of missed my window there, third season of Young Justice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anybody? I mean, even on my previous channel, I made at least one video dedicated to Young Justice, the second season, where I was complaining a little bit about a time skip they made between the seasons, which, by the way, they did once again. But this time around, they didn't try to build too much mystery between characters that then got throughout the season slowly unraveled, even so all the characters already knew about it and just the viewer was like, oh! No, this time around they actually, we have another time skip, so we got some characters who got redesigned, especially the younger ones were allowed to age a little bit further up, because the entire stick about Young Justice, if you're completely not aware of what it is, I probably should explain it, it's that we are following a team of, especially in the first two seasons, mostly teenagers who are the prodigies of the big DC superheroes. So the original team was consistent of Robin, in the sense of Dick Drake, Miss Martian, niece of Martian Manhunter, who actually is 40, but in human years she boiled down to a 16-year-old teenager. Who was there? Kid Flash, Superboy, who is a clone of Superman, and the Artemis later joins, who is basically female young Green Arrow. And I'm pretty sure there was one more character. My God, who am I forgetting? I'm probably getting lynched by somebody for forgetting a character.
Cyborg.
Cyborg joins a lot later. Spoilers, I guess. Pretty sure there was one. Aqualad, of course, Aqualad. Prodigy of Aquaman. Autistic writer, also already remembered. So, yeah, what we do is we follow those teens, teen sidekicks who then form their own team and basically start doing covered missions for the Justice League, because Justice League is like, okay, you are teenage heroes, you want to do hero stuff, and we trained you, you're competent, so we are allowing you to do stuff. However, as they literally put it in the first season, we have those big targets on our chests, like as a Superman symbol and the Batman symbol and so on. We have them there for a reason, so to kind of protect the kids, they are doing covered missions only. However, of course, the big bad guys become kind of aware of it, but yada yada. This is a lot of plot. Third season, there was a lot of time between. I don't know, maybe a decade between the second and the third season. So it was basically officially cancelled. Ended a little bit of a cliffhanger, which is always a dick move. if we just make the ending too open enough, they have to greenlight another season, right?
I mean, didn't they announce Young Justice like the third season 3 years ago, and it took 3 years to get out?
Could be, but
because they announced it in 2016.
But it was still like many years after it officially was cancelled. And I mean, it also is like it's now on DC Universe instead of what was it before, Cartoon Network or something, I believe.
It was on Cartoon Network,
which has a funny side effect. So this is something to point out. It became a lot more darker.
Yeah,
you
it
see
had the freedom of not being on a network that's for kids.
Exactly. So even though we are still following a new teenage, because there's always a little bit of a roll up, the new teenage heroes, but also including some of the old favorites, we get a lot of actual on-screen blood. So which is always like something. I mean, I watch enough anime that I am not that unused to on-screen blood, but I was like, holy crap, that's a lot of blood. Oh, there's another character impaled. Holy crap. And
look, I've been impaled.
Yes, and even stuff like a slit throat and a decapitation. I'm like, this is more blood than all of the X-Men movies combined. Like an actual death of characters. I mean, not necessarily full-on frontal stuff, but we see a decapitation which actually has like the shadow of the head flying off. We have a character being murdered on screen in a very cartoony way, but still and we have actually a grave. We have actually a grave where they throw multiple bodies in. So then the tone itself also got kind of darker. So you could say it got a little bit something from the DC EU in there. But it still felt more true to the original Young Justice, for more less networky tone. So they doubled a little bit down on being more serious in their approach, which was a thing they already had kind of going for them in the previous seasons. One thing that I noticed that I did not notice in the first two seasons, so it might have been that I was just ignorant about it, but this time I noticed it very strongly, was that they did not hold back of including some current political commentary, like very explicit commentary.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So Lex Luthor is now the head of the chairman, whatever, of the UN. And he goes Trump to a point where it's like, wait a second. Like he's in an interview and it's like something happened, like, and then stuff explodes. Sad. Like this is kind of like how Trump blurts out like emotional words on the end of his tweets and whatnot. Literally, the word fake news was used multiple times, including Lex Luthor once again. In a point where Lex Luthor gets accused of something and he's standing in front of cameras and it's like, that's fake news! We also have like moments where I have to be careful not to go into spoiler stuff. So I mean, it's similar to stuff they did in the second season. So some of the characters go for a little bit of the heroes. I mean, go for more a little bit of intriguing approach to problem solution, and at some point they also are like, yeah, we need to fight the bad guys we need to defeat them in their own war, and that's why they started to manipulate stuff. So, which I felt was also pretty straightforward commentary to stuff that is going on right now in the media and shit, because media in general was a giant ass topic in the third season. So this was a little bit weird, and we had also some character who was so progressive coded, it was
like oof levels or well-written levels, but
I mean, good thing is it was not hindering the story in any way. So that's always like, if the message does not overtake the plot, then it's already an okay thing, but then again, you could argue that it now becomes more snuck into there. But a character who, sorry, I have to list like it's like because it was so like dense down in one character. I was like, guys, come on, try to be a bit more subtle with it. So originally Muslim background, so she's wearing the
Good job.
Thank you. I'm bad with words. The jihad. She while having a male love interest, she also has a little bit of a gay moment. Her colors are literally getting more and more rainbows throughout. She has using colorful auras, and they're getting more and more rainbow throughout everything. At some point, there's an actual plot explanation for it, but
can you say what who the character's name is?
Halo or Violet.
Okay, because I was about to say you should. These are all based off comic book characters, man. You can say the name of the character.
But I believe she's a fresh interpretation of it. And there was one big thing where, again, within the story, it makes completely sense, and I probably
Halo? She's had rainbows from the start, you dumbass.
Yeah, but the alignment of the colors. Let's just say the colors they picked specifically.
Her literal power is creating rainbow auras.
Yeah, but still, they all got it in one character combined. And then
yes,
she has even
that's her.
Not just the colors, everything. The original Halo was Caucasian.
Yes, okay, they did change the race. That doesn't imply that she's also part of.
And the gender and the orientation, because she has also I'm not sure if I'm a girl moment. It's like that all was in this one character.
Okay, now you got me.
Everything they hit every checkbox on the entire progressive spectrum in one character, and I was like, "Come on, guys!" Once again, it did not take away from it, because it was in the story. It was not. They didn't do some silly like putting it too much into the foreground or bringing.
Her costume is awful in the show. It looks more like if you made Green Arrow and Green Lantern have like a tracksuit. Like, hold on, I'll just put the picture I found.
Yeah.
That's not Halo.
Oh no, this is one of her colors. She's actually white by default.
That's still a bad costume.
But it's got a hoodie in. That's the new thing.
Exactly. Anyway, so this aside, overall, if you like the first two seasons of Young Justice, I would say you will still like it, even though it has a certain tone shift. So I would say the previous seasons have been better, but this one is definitely still good. It still has the action. It has a rich assessment of characters. By now the cast has become so fuckingly huge that some of the new characters literally only appeared once or twice and barely even got an entire line in, so you didn't get to know them at all. They found an excuse to have the majority of the entire Justice League not being there at all, because they at least, obviously, when we are following the Young Justice, the Justice League itself kind of connects story-wise with them. This time, we literally had nearly the entire Justice League out in space on missions throughout the entire season. So
they poochied them.
So, but yeah, I would say start at the beginning if you were interested in Young Justice, because it's very much a continuing story, and the third season did a lot of references and callbacks to the previous season. So yeah, definitely start at the beginning. It's a great show. If you are into cartoon action and DC especially, if you want to see something good from DC, go, among other stuff, this is something I can recommend instead of the live action movies of recent history, except Joker. Joker was good. And Wonder
So
Woman
was
was also
Shazam.
okay. Oh, Shazam was good, yeah.
Okay, just saying, watch this so they know what quality is. Because goddammit, that Birds of Prey trailer wasn't good either. Whew. I was considering making that my media just so I can rant, but I was like, I want to be in a good mood today.
Also, just going by the trailer would have been a little bit little.
I'm just saying, my one word. If you're going to make a Birds of Prey movie, and you're going to put a trailer for Birds of Prey, maybe a Black Canary actually be in it for more than 10 seconds. You know, the main bird of prey, instead of just making it Margot Robbie's Harley Hour.
But it has to be about Harley Quinn. Why the fuck did you
just not name this Harley Quinn the movie?
Oh, we had this already. It was Batman with Harley Quinn or whatever. Or Harley Quinn with Batman, which was also not good.
Just saying, I like the Birds of Prey comics. I like the Birds of Prey episode of Brave and the Bold, which was written by the creator of Birds of Prey. I was excited to hear that a Birds of Prey movie was coming out because I wanted to see Black Canary in like the big screen and not just in Arrow where she was shit. And it's just like, but no, I have to see more of Margot Robbie's stupid face and bad Harley impression. At least they don't have her wearing the Daddy's Little Monster outfit again. I can at least give that.
I mean, obviously not. She is so over clowns.
I mean, that's what she says in the trailer.
Yes.
Just watch the Harley Quinn DC animated show when it comes out.
Anyways, we have been dragging on for long. Leo, your media.
Okay.
Oh, this is loud. Oops, sorry, my bad.
As previously stated, my media is Beast Wars, coming out in 1996 and ending in 1999. Beast Wars was ultimately a sequel to the Generation 1 Transformers continuity. Between the years of 1990 and 1996, there were no real continuations of Transformers. There was Generation 2, which is basically just Generation 1 episodes with some computer effects added, but Beast Wars was different. It was a new take on Transformers where instead of cars and trucks, they took the form of animals. And the writing team for it was primarily that of Bob Forward and Larry DiTillo. Bob Forward primarily working on the original Filmation He-Man cartoon, and Larry DiTillo working on, well, just about every 80s cartoon, including the real Ghostbusters. Unfortunately, he passed away this past year. So, yeah. It's a really good show. Granted, they decided to go with Mainframe's computer animation, and at the time, of course, you can see on screen that it wasn't
was
this
quite the same studio that made Reboot?
Yes, it was.
Ah.
They made Reboot, War Planets, Beast Wars, and one other's name I can't quite remember. But Beast Wars, if you can get past the animations dating, because it dates real quick, it's a really solid story. They had a lot of limitations to work with, but those limitations played into their favor because instead of having to create new characters for the toy line because Hasbro wanted them to, they could only have so many characters in the show due to the fact that it's CGI and it was, expensive to animate. So that smaller cast on each side of the conflict allowed them to develop characters naturally. So if you're looking for a starting point, if you've never watched Transformers, Beast Wars is a fantastic starting point. Just be cognizant that, although not, and this is going to get me in trouble with probably maybe the one or two old school Transformer fans that are watching, it's not as bad as G1's animations dated itself, but you can compare it to modern CGI from, 90% of animation that's out there right now. And you can tell it definitely did not hold up. But the story, the voice acting, character designs, they're all fantastic. I highly recommend it. This show does not get enough love, even within the Transformers community. So you can find it on DVD. You can find several episodes on YouTube. I'd recommend just digging in and enjoying it.
Sounds fair, but I guess that's not much to add.
I zoned because I was actually looking up Mainframe to be like, what else did they do? Because you said that they did one other thing. They're still doing things. They're actually Rainmaker now, which I'm like, wait, I've heard of this company.
I have not kept up with them. I'm not even going to pretend otherwise.
Apparently, they did the Spider-Man animated series from 2003.
Oh, that's right. They also did Beast Wars sequel, Beast Machines, which
and
is
apparently Heavy Gear, the animated series, and Max Steel. Oh God, I remember Max Steel. That was a show.
You poor thing.
That was a show. Apparently, they mostly make Barbie movies now. So they're still working with Mattel.
Well, Transformers is Hasbro.
Oops.
Oh.
They are still working with toy companies?
Yeah, they're still working with toys.
They're still working with toy companies. But oddly enough, Beast Wars is my first introduction to, oh God, not a reboot, or oh God, not a new show. Because like back in the old ATT messaging groups or ATT mailing groups, there were like wars about this cartoon and about how, it's going to be terrible. It's not G1. And there was a phrase that came out due to this. The phrase is called truck, not monkey. And it is still prevalent in the Transformers community today. Granted, it's more tongue-in-cheek mockery, but anytime somebody starts complaining about a new Transformers cartoon, that's how they mock them. They usually call them a G1er, spelled in a very goofy manner, which is oddly enough where the Pokemon fandom got that phrase from. And or they just yell like consistently, yeah, we get you, truck, not monkey, we understand, now go away. It's left an interesting impact. But the sequel series to it, Beats Machines, actually left a worse impact because the writer they got for it, Bob Skir, was told by Dan DiDio, which those of you who read comics know who that is, which I find odd because usually he's with, DC, but he was working for Hasbro at the time, told this man who was writing it, do not do any research on the characters from Beast Wars. Don't do any research on the Transformers genre. It's too continuity heavy. So we're taking these pre-established characters in a sequel series, and this poor guy had no idea what was going on with them. That dude, that dude got freaking death threats because of how he was writing that series. It was ridiculous.
I mean, this entire idea sounds pretty stupid. Why would you explicitly tell a writer to reinvent established characters without any knowledge? Because
at this point in time, Hasbro was going through an internal shakeup. And unfortunately, when an internal shakeup happens, the creatives are the first to go. And anybody with a business degree seems to think they're smarter than everybody else. So, well, their continuity is not going to make it appealing to children, so therefore we should do away with it.
Yeah, but why not
because
new characters then? This is the thing that...
Because Hasbro's dumb.
Okay,
fair point. Hasbro was being very dumb, and there was a lot of poor choices made. And I'm still trying to figure out how Dan DiDio even played into that, because again, he's a comic guy, and he used to have a brain. At some point, I guess he lost it, kind of like Frank Miller did. But that was my first, foray into the, oh my goodness, people really, really get uptight about what happens on a cartoon to absurd degrees. Because even now, Bob Skir tends to not go to Transformer conventions because people are still mad about Beast Machines, and that was 20 years ago at this point. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Thank you, Internet.
Thanks,
but
Internet.
Yeah, I guess it's time to move on to the Q&A. We haven't played this song in forever, but I also don't have it at hand anymore.
Uni needs to make a short version, and then we can. Okay, here's one. I'll start with the Discord one, because we only have like two questions on Twitter.
That's true, yeah.
Twitter sucks says, thanks, Odie. I know. As I was watching the next WoW trailer, I was left wondering, what's the biggest letdown a piece of media has left you after getting hyped for it? Well, your first mistake is getting hyped.
Correct.
This sounds familiar.
What?
Question-wise, but okay, what is the biggest letdown? Oh, or maybe I just read the question the other day.
Yeah, maybe. It's in your server.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's my Discord.
Trying to think of one, because I do have one answer, but it's kind of spoilery, because I know that Max still needs to see it, which is the 5th season of Samurai Jack.
Oh.
No.
It's been a year. You can spoil it.
No, I'm not an asshole.
Wait, what?
I'm not that kind of asshole. No, okay, I know mine. I'm gonna get some hate for this, the 3rd season of Rick and Morty.
Oh, fair point.
I didn't think it was that good. I feel like there were good episodes in it, but they didn't build off anything. Like I liked the Pickle Rick episode. Okay, I like the Citadel episode. Like there were episodes I enjoyed. But then the last episode was just let's all return to the status quo of Jerry's back in the family and all this.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, why the fuck did season 2 happen? Just, and like there was going to be some actual acknowledgement that Beth has a toxic relationship and all this stuff. And it's like, don't give me this plate of steak and then smother it in ketchup. Like, why did you do this? But I mean, I want to see Rick and Morty season 4. And at least I know they won't have that fucking Guardians of the Galaxy parody ever again because they killed all those characters because that was the fucking worst episode of season 3.
Not even
but I
Ben
guess that would
Harmon
be my
like it.
answer.
But yeah, I'm just seeing interesting answers also in the chat. By the way, guys, give us your answers. But how can you already be disappointed by Steven Universe Future? It hasn't even aired yet, has it?
No.
So how can
all
you be...
they've released is the theme song.
Yes, how Iris, how can you be already disappointed, let down by it? It hasn't started.
Like Autistic has at least could say the movie has come out.
Yes.
Like,
I mean,
are you disappointed by what you saw in the opening, which were characters that we already saw and one screen of what's to come, which was like 2 frames?
But yeah, mine, not a new one either, but Mortal Engines. I recall
remember
seeing the first trailer for Mortal Engines. I believe I was even in the theater with Yuri, and we were both like, "This is awesome! This is awesome! You need to watch it! This is awesome! Can't wait!" I mean, it was amazing, but then it turned out that the trailer was basically the first 3 minutes of the movie, and after that, it all went to shit. So I regret my visit to the cinema for Mortal Engines more than my $20 IMAX ticket for Batman vs. Superman. Because at least with Batman vs. Superman, I knew what to expect, and I didn't go in hype. And with Mortal Engines, it still had like it's phenomenalness to it. Batman vs. Superman. Mortal Engines was really just boring and bad, and they didn't do anything with the entire idea of those fucking steam diesel punky
Was it walk
cities.
out of the theater bad?
No, the chair was comfy and I had popcorn. Anyways, yeah, Mortal Engine is mine. Leo.
What about you, Leo?
Okay, I'm going to hit a little closer to home here and say something that might offend some people. My biggest disappointment after hype was the 2011 Thundercats cartoon.
The one with the very goofy
anime style,
look.
Yeah. With lanky Lionel.
Oh no, okay, the anime one. Okay, yes, I recall starting watching it but losing track of it after like 4 episodes or something.
Yeah, most people did.
So did the rest of the viewership.
Uh-huh. Well, Thundercats has, of course, had this issue of people who like it start working on it, but they don't actually like Thundercats. They like the idea of Thundercats. So they try to either go grim dark with it or try to make it like something else instead of just, sticking with what it is, because they don't actually put faith in that. So Thundercats tried too hard to be a new Avatar, even getting some of the voice actors from that crew on there, some of the animation people as well. It didn't really stick to the whole fantasy concept. They tried to be really edgy, like post-apocalyptic techno world nonsense, and also put in a bunch of Infinity Stone garbage and Thanosing Mumra up, making him not scary. Like, I thought that show would be good, and then I watched it, and divorced from the Thundercat property, it's okay. But when you watch it being fully cognizant that it is a reboot of an established property, it is just absolute horse manure, in my opinion. There are some good things in it, but it's so outweighed by the bad that you just don't even waste your time with it.
I recall one aspect that kept bothering me throughout the first few episodes, that you have the 2 small children who just are orphans, and they're on the city, they keep running into the characters, then they're out of the city and just walking the street, and then they keep running into the characters, and then they're part of the group, like, huh? Why? What? They're just random strays.
They're not orphans. They left home because their dad died in a tornado, and they thought their mom had too many kids to feed, so they left. That's their deep, convoluted backstory.
And they didn't. They haven't been convincing at all. They were just, okay, we are walking down the street now. Oh, hello, Prince. Let us join your party of action heroes. Like, what?
Yeah, I'm not very fond of that show, and that gets me a little bit of heat because we have people who go on like, well, the new Thundercats coming out next year. It's gonna be terrible. Why can't it be as good as the 2011 one? I'm like, it has the same exact problem. Neither of them really respect the source material.
The only thing from the 2011 one has above the new one is art style is more aesthetically pleasing.
Well, I disagree because I like the old Rankin Boss aesthetic.
Oh no! I'm talking about with Roar compared to the 2011.
Well, yeah, definitely.
No, I'm not. I like the original Thundercat style more because it's classic, but I'm saying compared to Roar.
Yeah, and I have a lot of other issues with the show, but I'm not going to detail them here because we'd be here all day and we have other questions to answer. But that is my penultimate answer to that question.
Yeah. So on Twitter, JRog1989 sword emoji.
Hey, Twitter used to be my questions.
Okay, fine.
No, you go. You ask the question.
No, you go.
No, you.
No, you.
No, you.
It seems we are at an impasse.
Well, Jork was asking, for all three, what are your thoughts on the Hazbin hotel pilot?
Pleasantly surprised.
Have we all seen it? I have.
I actually watched it specifically to answer that question.
Oh.
Yes.
I mean, it's 20 minutes, so it's not that much.
But no, I was pleasantly surprised. I was worried that with how many independent animators that the animation quality would have had a bigger disparity throughout, but it shocked me how little that happened. It happened a couple times.
They often played it cleverly with stylizing certain scenes.
Whoever animated Alistair, the entire time Alistair was the best animated character, because Alistair is the best character. But story-wise, it was okay. I mean, it's a setup for what's to come. I really don't have that's the thing. There's not too much to say about it. I don't want to say that it's a style over substance thing because I liked it, but I think I need to watch it a few more times to see what exactly about it I like. Because I can point out one thing. I feel like the animation needs to get less insane for background stuff because sometimes the background stuff distracts me from what's actually happening in the foreground, which I don't know if that's just a me thing because I know some people are like, oh, it gives it replayability factor, but I'm like, I need to replay it to see what the main characters are doing, not what the background's doing.
Yeah, but it's also like that so much is happening in the background. You literally cannot. You can basically freeze frame it every second, and there's a lot of stuff and characters. I assume they basically cramped in all Patreon supporters or something. I could imagine as their personas, but there's so much in the background that it's like, yeah, freeze frame, check out this image, freeze frame, next image, too much. If there is something too much detail, then yeah.
Yeah, but for a pilot, because usually the pilots are the weakest episodes of shows, the pilot I think was really good, and it did a thing that I like, is that it caused conversation afterwards, because me and Max had a pretty lengthy back and forth about Charlie's parents, and that was nice. It's
only to find out that they are just, because we were speculating a lot, and then I actually checked the wiki, and yeah, her parents are just Lucifer and Lilith. Yeah,
but that technically means that we were right that one of them is an angel, because Lucifer is an angel.
That is true. But yeah, Leo, since you specifically sat down and watched it, I don't want to rob you of your chance to actually say how you felt about it.
Okay, so I've been following Vizzy-Pop's work since I saw her work on YouTube back when she was, I think, still in animation school, when she had released some animation project or...
Timber.
What was it? Yeah,
It was their SBA project.
Yes. So I'm familiar with her work. I think that she has a very distinct style. I think her animation is very, very good. I even read her comic, what was it?
Zoophobia?
Zoophobia. Now, I'm going to tell you the good before I go into my personal taste. I think that Vizzy and her team have a very, very good grounded understanding of expressions and how to push and pull them in animation. They're all extreme, but they don't tend to overstate themselves. I think the character designs, they have good silhouettes to them for the most part. I think that generally the animation for a single project and a small team is very good. There are, quite a few issues, of course. You're going to have that regardless. Even in professional things, take a look at Steven Universe anytime you want to. But on top of that, the voice acting, with the exception of Vaggie, I think her name is, all the other voice actors are surprisingly good. I don't usually expect this level of oomph, level of commitment. With the exception of Vaggie, I don't ever think these are people sitting in a room in front of a microphone, which is usually my go-to task. Can I hear them as characters, or do I hear them as people doing their job? And usually in this case, it falls on the latter. But with Vizzy's work here and the voice actors that have been chosen, I don't see them as people sitting in a room. I hear them as the characters, which is a plus. So on all those things, it is solid. However, and I'm not going to get too far into this because this is Max's show. I respect his ideologies and beliefs. But coming from a man who is not only a Christian, but a man who has studied and unfortunately had encounters with these creatures, I cannot divorce myself from that. So ultimately, what Alistair, who I'm guessing, or Alistair, I can't remember how it's pronounced.
Alistair.
Yeah, probably a reference to Alistair Crowley, where I'd venture a guess. But what he said ultimately is correct. There is no second chance. So I see the entirety of Hazbin Hotel, despite likely going to have an interesting story. I'm sure they're going to go really in depth with this, but Vizzy has always had this odd fascination with the demonic. You can see that in Zoophobia as well, because she had Damien, son of the devil, different things like that. I will likely not continue watching this show due to my theological implications, because I cannot divorce that from this. So solid on the things I talked about. I will judge it based on that. When it comes to that, I will give kudos where they are given, because it is art. It is directed. It is part of creating. I believe personally that ties into the nature of God himself. But I cannot divorce, again, myself, my ideas, my theology from this topic, so I likely will not be continuing with it.
Fair. But as you pointed out, I come from a different mindset. I personally love this kind of approach to themes. I recall that one of my favorite comics in the 90s was an ongoing comic called Crimson, which was about a little boy that got vampirized in his teens, and very bloody vampires. They basically slaughter. They don't just do the pokey thing and draw and suck out. No, they completely slaughter to get to the blood. And it was also like going through everything, any Christian mythology, any character was in there. Lucifer and God, obviously, and they then went very deep into Bible lore and included a lot of stuff that I have never even heard about before, and I was eating it up. No, but to stay specific with Hazbin, which I had a thought and it left me. Damn it, I should probably not play the animation. This is not helping.
Well, yeah, I was staring at the animation the entire time you were talking.
As we explained earlier, too lively animation is distracting.
Definitely eye-catching.
Yeah. I will say a couple other things here. I do want to comment on that. I completely forgot about until you started bringing it up. They need to do some better audio balancing. I could not understand half of what Charlie was saying throughout her song, just being honest here.
Oh, yeah.
Now, there is a criticism I've seen that because I'm theologically inclined, I don't see it as having merit. And that's, well, why do the angels they mentioned, why do they look similar to the demons? And, why do they look the way they did? Well, I mean, demons are just fallen angels. And when you actually look at what scripture says angels look like, they're not something you want to run into in a dark alley. There's one
isn't one angel just a collection of eyes? Like, there's a lot of the actual... If you look at designs for angels that aren't the classic humans with wings, yes, they are kind of terrifying.
It's called the cherubim, and the cherubim is usually depicted in like ancient art or whatnot, Roman Catholic art specifically, as naked children with wings. But biblically, They are a massive creature with the head of a lion, the head of an eagle, the head of the head of a bull, and the head of a human. It's covered in wings. The wings are covered in eyes, and it has 2 human hands. This is a thing born of nightmares. There's a reason why.
There's a reason why.
There's a reason why when angels appear in the Bible, instead of people being like, "Yo, what's up?" the angels' first words are always, "Be not afraid," because they are terrifying to look at. So that's why. So I find that one criticism kind of bizarre, like completely lacking in background. But that's just my take.
Yeah. No, but yeah. What I recall, what my impression was like, holy fuck, how does this get away on YouTube? Because it's like vulgar, it's sexual, it's messy in so many things. It should basically by the suppress. I mean, why they can just demonetize it and not? Then again, I keep clicking commercials away, so it's obviously monetized. Even so, it goes against everything where YouTube is like, oh, advertiser friendly. No, it's awesome in its way how unadvertiser friendly it is. Like borderline, not just borderline. I would say it is politically incorrect at many points, and it gets away with it.
It's hell.
Exactly, because the characters are
one
all
of the main
demons.
characters is a porn star, and his introduction was him after hooking up with someone for
Exactly.
drugs.
Exactly. So it's so amazingly wrong and on YouTube, which I'm kind of loving about it. But yeah, besides that, I believe I have said most of the points already with like, yeah, that there's so much going on that if they, first of all, trying to keep this going will eat up so many resources and make the time between episodes more like even longer, and it's like overwhelming at times. But yeah, aesthetically, I'm all on board with it. I mean, I was subscribed to VZ far longer than Hazbin was a thing, so yeah, I will probably keep following it.
Yeah, I will give her this. They kept the character designs consistent, which is an improvement upon the Die Young video, because if you watch the Die Young video, that wolf loses features as it goes on. Because, like, the stripes on her ears go away. I think her, like, leggings lose stripes. Like, watch Crown Prince's video on the Die Young one, and you can actually, she points out how by the end of the animation, she loses, like, half of her markings.
Well, you Die Young by Crown Prince. Okay, it's
yes,
linked in
the scribble kibble.
Yeah, don't. I believe I have not. Yeah, I'm always actually writing notes. You guys don't believe that I can remember more than an entire day into the future the individual stuff we talked about. I promised to put in the description.
I know. I'm just making fun of you, dear.
Rightfully so.
But okay, next question. Since I haven't eaten yet, this is a good question. Denim Ninja asks, what's your idea of a perfect breakfast? Food, ideally. Because I haven't eaten today. I'm so hungry. I want to get through these questions so I can eat.
So what would be your perfect breakfast?
Damn it! What would be my perfect breakfast? I mean, honestly, it would probably just be the thing I like to cook the most, which is pancakes. I like making pancakes from scratch. Usually if I visit someone, that's the thing that they get from me, is that I make pancakes. And I like making them from scratch more than any box mixture can ever provide. And yeah, I like that. But the thing is, and most people will find this out about me if they ever go to a restaurant with me, I barely eat breakfast food. I will usually order from the lunch menu. People have seen me eat burgers at like 10 in the morning, and it's, I don't know, breakfast food never enticed my stomach, but pancakes, hell yeah. So that's mine.
Yeah, I mean, mine is, I will probably go for my American diner food, because it still kept that level of exoticness for me, because you simply don't get it in, or at least I haven't found a proper diner in Berlin, which is true and diner and doesn't just call it that.
That fucking American place that's in Potsdamer that we tried. Oh, that place was not good.
Andy's Diner, no.
Andy's is not good. You can't just put a motorcycle and American flag in a restaurant and say it's American.
Yeah. No, so due to the fact, I could imagine that if I would have it available to me on a daily basis, I would probably grow sick of it quickly. But no, as it is right now, just this thing with like bacon and hay fries and yeah, maybe something like a waffle or a pancake by the side. It's just, I like it. I love it. And with free refill coffee.
Yeah. What about you, Leo?
Meat.
Meat.
Meat?
Meat.
Meat.
Just anything that's meat that's not ham.
Oh, man.
Do we have anything in common, Leo?
I remember one time.
We're old?
Who?
He said what you have in common is that you're both old.
Oh yeah, that's true.
No, I remember one time, this is the story of how Chrissy realized that losing weight means that your taste becomes different. There's a fucking buffets for breakfast at Disney, and I used to just get mountains of bacon because I fucking love bacon. And I would be able to eat an entire plate full of bacon. Tried that again I think like the fucking year of EQLA after I lost like 60 some pounds and I got sick. I was like, oh, this used to feel good and now it doesn't. What's the correlation? I say as I grab my 12-inch less waistline, like, it's like alcohol. It's like, what happened? What changed?
I know, right?
Oh. I would have said bacon if it wasn't for that experience.
Fair. But yeah, I have another one from J-Ork on Twitter.
He's our Twitter boy, man.
Yeah, he is. Even so, he is in the server, so that's interesting.
He wants to make you feel special.
What's the ugliest cartoon character you have ever seen? Oh, somebody knows the answer.
You guys can go first. Mine has to be the last, because it is truly the ugliest thing ever put on TV.
That's the thing. Leo, what's your ugliest one? I need inspiration, so I need to hear somebody talk about theirs.
Let me pull it up because this requires an image.
Fair. I mean, it makes sense given the context and the question. Do I have one?
Oh, I hate looking at this so much.
Oh, but ugly Martians. I mean, they have it in the name, so...
I mean, at least that's self-aware.
Sausage with eggs and bacon and biscuits. Yeah, this was an ugly character. Wait, are we still on characters?
No.
Oh.
There we go. Beast
What
Machine.
is
Beast Machine Black Arachnia.
Oh, going to share
What
it.
is... It looks like if you took fucking Cortana from Halo, mixed it with King Ramses from Courage, and dyed it pink.
Oh, it gets worse. I'm trying to find the image that shows all of her eyes. It is a thing.
All of her eyes.
All of her eyes, because her entire forehead has eyes on it.
That's nice. I mean, it fits with Spider, but thank anime for at least making aesthetically pleasing Spider Girls, because God knows we didn't do it.
Y'all might get lucky because I'm having a hard time finding that horrific image.
I'll spare you time and just show you mine. So, Cartoon Network makes good shows, but sometimes it greenlets shit like this. This is the fun. Was someone waiting for the problem solvers? Because you're getting them. Oh, but the thing is, for one thing, just saying, they didn't give this show an epilepsy warning.
No, they didn't.
They should have given this show an epilepsy warning, because how Christine discovered that she has photosensitive epilepsy is because of this show.
Oh, lovely.
Because if you look up any background from Problem Solvers, it's so bad. I have to turn down the saturation on my screen if I'm looking at clips. But season 2, they decided, hey, we're going to add shading and dye down the colors a bit. And this is a fucking image from season 2. This was on TV.
Yep.
I hate
remember
it.
this
I
show.
hate it. Apparently,
I'm
like, they
wanting to
made
watch it.
season 2, but Cartoon Network refused to air it, and then they put it on Netflix, and Netflix took it down, and now you can't find any of it. This is lost media that should be lost. Please.
I agree. I agree 100%.
Show the Arachnia thing. That's 10 times better than what's on screen.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Floop.
Zoom, enhance.
Enhance.
Oh my god. Does she have like 3 noses?
No, one nose, but 6 eyes.
Cool. What about you, Max? What's an ugly thing?
I guess something like Big Mouth or so,
Ugh.
when they really intentionally dial up the growth of the characters.
I feel like I won in this competition
You
of
did.
ugly
Yeah.
You won
things.
hands down.
Thank you, Cartoon Network. Okay, so
I'm done with Twitter. It's all yours
we
now.
got some more. We got a few more Discord things.
I mean, Twitter sucks.
Twitter sucks.
Provided
really just
4 questions.
brought the thunder since Enigma is not asking questions this month.
It's true.
What's that pretentious phrase you've heard from someone you've ended up facepalming to? So what's one of the most pretentious things you've ever heard?
I don't know. I don't listen to myself that much.
Good answer.
Pretentious, specifically. Pretentious.
I feel like I should have an answer because I'm part of an artist community. I mean, it's not a pretentious thing, but I guess it's something that I don't like, which is age equals life experience, which is not inherently true. Because there are some people that unluckily, have gone through a lot of experiences in limited time of living compared to someone who may be older but had a very sheltered life.
I mean, it's usually, there is a correlation, but yeah, the graph for some people is steeper than for others. So
yeah, I think it's just the thing of I've had people say that I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm in my 20s, and I'm like, you know, I can give you a very detailed backstory that can tell you. I think I have some credulence in the world of wisdom on my character sheet.
Mm-hmm.
But what about you?
What about me? So pretentious. The chat, what about you? Give me inspirations.
They would say probably anything we've said on this cast when we get asked a serious question.
It's probably true. Yeah, sometimes we actually have decent
Sometimes,
replies.
But also us. So.
True. But I should know pretentious stuff. I mean, not just because I probably am guilty of it often enough.
I mean, what was your last That Stupid video that came out? Yes, you didn't promote your That Stupid video.
Oh, that's true. I forgot that yesterday That Stupid Punching a Nazi came out. And so far, I have not been accused of being a Nazi. More or less.
You've actually
somebody...
had some good conversation happen.
Yeah. I mean, interestingly enough, so I also had a complete... I'm not sure if he is completely Antifa, but he was like... I had 2 people going around and leaving comments on dozens of other people, replies on other people's comments, and they were both like
wasn't it like Forever Free something?
Yeah, we had basically somebody who publicly was like, yeah, Richard Spencer is my hero, and our arguments are the best, and so it actually outright white supremacist. And,
oh yeah, I found that comment.
Yeah, and another that comment, there are multiple ones, and the other.
Well, I mean, I found that original one that says how Richard Spencer is his hero.
Ah, okay. And,
not the replies.
And the other one where the other person who was like, no, there's no punching not enough. Yeah, you're right. You should punch them. So you should make sure that they do not survive and cannot come up. And was very, very explicit about literally putting bullets in brains for people just waving the flag. So yeah, basically both extremes there, but what was kind of sad, both of them, as far as I recall, are actually super long time viewers of mine. So I watched it and I was like, guys, I really feeling very uncomfortable with both of you right now. That's the thing, when you stop talking about just candy-colored horses, suddenly you learn a little bit more about your viewers.
It's like when you grow up from being a kid and you visit your family members and then you find the racist uncle.
Yeah. But yeah, good point. I put a link to that one down in the description. There's interesting stuff going on in the comment section, but once again, nothing really that makes you go, that's neither pretentious or head facepalming. Facepalm material, I mean, cringe material, but not like, ooh, this is like...
I mean, I was more making a joke about you being the pretentious one.
Yeah, that's true.
But also Leo's still not back. So we're just going to say that Leo's pretentiousness is that guy who probably was telling people to go kick his ass on Twitter. Next question. Let's see. Oh, see, Wishful River asked, what's the stupidest thing you've ever heard? We would be here all day.
So, I have a neat little playlist in the description down below, which is called AWKWARDCast.
Yeah. I would like to I could tell you one of the stupidest things that was done on this podcast, which was, isn't that right, Dad? Because that is I actually have that clip isolated on my computer just because I really liked you and Chris's faces of just going, and I'm just like, oh, we choose to be around this woman. But yeah, next question. I think I can find one more good question, then we can do FMK. Yeah. Okay. I know y'all have been performers at some point. What do you think is harder, acting for a crowd or for a single person? Groups or individual?
Acting for, so...
But the thing is, like, what is the situation where you're just acting for one person?
It's called lying. No.
Oh.
No, I'm actually having a little bit of a hard time figuring out what the acting... I mean,
Okay, well, I mean, I could say that I'm good with public speaking, which is weird because I'm a very introverted person. People can attest to it, but I'm good at public speaking and performing in front of crowds. I mean, I do this show and like that kind of stuff. I do find it worrying to do like, because like I do stand up as a hobby, to run stuff by like in front of just one person. I don't like doing that. I feel like if I'm going to test out something, it needs to be in front of a group, unless I really respect the one person. So I guess if you gave me the choice, I would say a crowd, but I feel like there's an inherent narcissism when it comes to being a performer, that you want to perform in front of more people.
Odie specified a little bit, like, it's the difference between being a public speaker and a good conversationalist. Okay, with the...
Why didn't you put that in your question,
exactly.
you numbnut?
Because acting for a crowd or acting for a single person, like acting for a single person sounds like weird, because yeah, if I put an act on for a single person, what is this, like an exclusive performance, like... Or is this like, as I said, lying?
Hey, Leo.
Hello. Sorry for
the
no
question
problem.
we're at now is, are you better at being a public speaker or being a good conversationalist with people one-on-one?
I'm good at yelling at people for being stupid.
That's true.
So public speaking.
Probably. Or, given that you often seek the discussion, the discourse directly with the person, I would say that you probably have more thing for the conversationalist going on. I'm not even sure what mine is, because I am okay in both directions, but what is harder? I mean, the thing is, for usually public stuff, I get to prepare for it. like I was giving a panel once, and I had a presentation, and I prepped it, and so I had my it planned out, so I had not a big problem. But if you would put me on a stage and be like, "Hey, improv," I would probably.
Well, I mean, this show in
falter
general
horribly.
is showing that you are not good on the spot with some things half
Oh
the
yeah,
time.
good point. Good
Ooh.
point.
So plus, I mean, like, as someone who's known you for 5 years, you're a good conversationalist if you're actually talking.
Hmm.
It's not as good in text because you tend to like leave people on read for like 3 hours and then reply to them. Totally not for personal experience. But see, with the question word like that, I'm wondering, because I would say I'm decent at both.
Mm-hmm.
And most of my panels are off the cuff because, like, the You Suck panel, I barely prepared anything for it. I knew the basic talking points, but everything was improv. I would say I am better at one-on-one, though, and I think that contributes to the fact that past the persona, I am an introvert. Because I've been able to hold long conversation and debates with people. And I think we actually had a thing like earlier this week where we were having like a discussion on Epic Games and the like ethics of it or something, or it was last week.
We made the thing of to basically get absolution, like when it's you get the
affirmation that you could buy this from the store.
Not affirmation, but higher even, like when you are like spoken free of your sins, it's absolution, right? Or
what do you want me absolving? You're absolving yourself of sin.
Yeah, I was like asking for like, is it okay when I buy from the Epic store?
Can I have your blessing?
Are my sins forgiven?
But no, just
it's not okay. You have to take it by force.
We had those conversations and it went into things, and it's just kind of like, why don't you make half of these things into videos? And I was like, one, because some of these are political and I'd rather not put that on my channel. And two, I'm better with just talking off the cuff. It takes me a little bit to sit down and write a script because I like this constant stream of thought. However, I don't want to edit my audio of a constant stream of thought because it would just be a lot of cutting out of uhs and fucks. Which, to me, are synonymous words, which has only occasionally gotten me in trouble with an Uber driver.
Oh yeah, but yeah, should we go for the last one?
That's a story for the post show. But no, I'd say conversationalist. I'm better at that.
Oh right, Leo hasn't answered.
No, I would like to answer the previous question actually.
Yes.
Dumbest, like the most, was it the dumbest thing or the
most pretentious?
Yes.
The most pretentious thing that I keep hearing, and it's maddening when you actually break it down, is you always think you're right.
I mean, it would be.
Well, yeah, if you stick your foot down, you either have enough pride to believe that you're right, or you think that you're right.
Yeah, the response to that's like, are you stupid? Everybody thinks they're right. Where have you been?
I am right until proven wrong.
Now that's the most pretentious, but the most ridiculous thing that I've had to deal with, or most unfortunately ridiculous thing, is I was doing a panel, and I do this panel multiple times a year at different anime conventions about the difference between Western animation and Japanese animation. And at some point in the panel, somebody brought up Neo Tokyo or Neo Yokio.
The Jaden Smith anime.
Yeah. And one dude on the front row made a comment about somebody should have left a burning cross in his yard for that. And I'm like,
pardon?
What?
How do you keep attracting such violent idiots?
The thing is, he wasn't violent. He was just an idiot. Because you'll find out a lot of idiots talk about violence, but being completely incapable of following through on it. So, like, thankfully, nobody else caught it. But I pulled him aside, like, dude, are you stupid? Like, does your brain not fire right? Were your parents related before they were married? I mean, dude, did you just not read the room? Are you? And he's like, yeah, that was really stupid. I don't know why I said that. I'm like, you said it because you're a dummy. Now, not to stop being a dummy and get out of here.
Talking about
the worst insult that Lio Convoy can give you, you're a dummy.
Out of curiosity, because this talking point reminds me, have you watched that stupid Nazi punching a Nazi video?
I have.
Because this sounded kind of familiar.
Okay, now I'm not going to get too in depth because my views are probably a little more extreme than Max is going to like to hear. But in general, I agree with your video.
But
here's my caveat, and I'm not going to go too far into depth with this out of respect for your channel, but my viewpoint is simply this. If you believe there are Nazis in the United States, like actual Nazis, and you also believe that they are an active threat to people, whether it be to citizen safety, whether it be to the government of our United States, punching them will not solve that. When you have a fox in your hen house, you kill the fox unless you want to lose more chickens. So if you're going to sit here and tell me I punched a Nazi, I did good, unless he's not breathing, if you think he is an actual threat, all you're doing is filleting your own self-righteousness.
I mean, this is a similar point that I brought up earlier while we're AFK, because I have a commenter in the video who actually makes similar points, even so he gets off the cuff a little bit more and comes up with contrived justifications and talks about communism and whatnot, which is
separate conversation.
Yeah, exactly. It's less to the point. Why do I keep
drinking it? It doesn't get better. Sorry.
I mean, this is a... Yeah, I mean, it as you said, you wanted to keep it short, so it would be silly of me to go into the in-depth discussion. Just to throw in the counter-argument, it's like, okay, I completely get the point, but on the one hand, you... Either if you are going completely literal into the direction you are... then again, what was it? You come from Texas. You have the death penalty, don't you?
Well, yes, I live in Texas. I don't really come from Texas.
Okay,
military brat, but yes, we definitely have the death penalty here, without question.
Yeah, and I just take it you are in support of it. Given just a statement right now. So
it's a complicated thing. My views on the death penalty are similar to that of abortion. I really need to actually sit down and think it over. While there are some times that I think it's warranted, I think our justice system focuses way too much on punishment as opposed to reformation. So
that's true.
I'm of two minds about it, unfortunately.
It's a very multi-grade area.
Yeah.
But you know what's not multi-grade?
My comics.
FMK. Welcome to Leo's favorite portion of the show.
Why didn't they learn?
Well, the big bad wolf asks, #AskAwkward. I heard Leo likes Thundercats. Which one does he like the most, though? Fuck, marry, kill. Lion-O, Chitara, and Snarf. In parentheses, I swear to Christ, if you're gonna kill Snarf, you gotta stab him in the chest and look him in the eyes whilst you twist the knife. Jesus Christ. Have fun otherwise. Okay, hand.
But come on, with this selection...
Wolfhead... Who hurt you?
Yeah, I mean, this one...
Apparently Snarf!
Yeah,
tell me on the Snarf doll where he touched you.
No, I have the feeling he means it actually the other way around, because he is, like, having to look him in the eyes. So he's probably making a point, like, if you are so heartless that you kill this little animal...
I think he just hates Snarf that much that he wants Snarf to suffer.
Unfortunately, I think that Keyframe's kind of right on this. A lot of people hate Snarf, and they're wrong, but they hate Snarf.
Look him in the eyes while you drift the knife. But you gotta stab him in the chest and look him.
Yeah, you gotta make it cruel.
Yeah, but I swear, if you do Christ, I have the feeling he actually wants us to look
Okay, we need to ask Wolfhead apparently for clarification later, but that's besides the point. We'll give Leo the grand finale on this, because I know he's just itching to answer.
Yeah, but it's...
Fuck, marry, kill. This is so...
Yeah, because we have a dude,
you couldn't at least have put, like, Mumra or the other cats that are aesthetically pleasing?
But, I mean, as a straight guy...
A straight furry man.
That's true. I mean, it's a hard choice if I want to rather have Chitara for one time fuck or marry her to keep her. So this is basically the hard part, but it's obvious that and Snarf.
Snarf's a pet.
I know. So yeah, we talked about it in the beginning of the show. You don't fuck the pet. So you either marry it. I mean, my sister, she is single. She's in her 40s and has no children. So she basically has a dog, which is her partner in a completely platonic way. But the dog is her family. So I guess this counts as marrying. So the animal.
Then you'd fuck Chitara?
But I mean, this would be my contrarian approach to
Man, Wolfhead, I thought this would be easy for him.
I you know what? I go contrarian. I embrace the gay. I fuck Lio just so I can keep Chitara for the rest of my life.
I'm very uncomfortable.
You said fuck Leo.
Yes.
Lionel. His name is Lionel.
Oh!
Fuck our guest. You goddamn brainlet. Like what?
I'm sorry, Leo. I'm so sorry.
I'm not into twink, so it's okay.
The barn door don't swing that way. But okay, you'd fuck Lionel.
Just so I can keep Chitara for forever, and I guess.
I guess you're stabbing Snarf.
Yeah, I mean his lifespan is the shortest, and I will not stab him with a knife. I will just bring him to the vet and behind the ears. Yeah.
Marley and him.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a weird question.
Want to give an answer because that was beautiful and the show should have ended there. But okay, here's the thing. They don't have any sexual organs.
Good point. They don't wear clothes in the pilot, so none of them has anything
They have doll bodies. I know that people would say then use your imagination, but I like to be literal minded. So what do you do? Do you just invest in a strap-on? Like what? But
okay, then again, it's an option for you. For I was like,
I know.
where?
I know. I'm thinking.
Yes.
Cause what do? I guess I'll. Here's the thing. The obvious answer would be marry Lionel. But then I either fuck Chitara or I fuck Snarf. The door don't swing one way, and one's a felony. Okay. I'll marry Lionel, because, well, let's go back to good old Gold Digger Christine. He's a fucking prince. Then I'll fuck Chitara. Furry trash. It probably entertains someone with girl on girl, whatever, even though that's just going to be like fucking rubbing against a Barbie doll. But, and then kill Snarf. Can I pick a different way for him to die?
Sure.
So it's have you ever seen the scene from like The Godfather where they take the guy out on the boat and in the next shot he's gone?
Oh, okay.
That will be it.
Okay, Leo, do you want to bring this train wreck home somehow?
I'm going to try. Okay, first and foremost, I don't tend to answer these questions for previously stated
reasons, yeah.
Yes.
Awkward cast. However, I will pick apart some things here. First and foremost, there is controversy about whether or not the Thundercats were in fact naked in the first episode.
Okay.
Because they do reproduce sexually. We see that with other Thunderians. However, Lionel isn't just a prince. He is the lord of that entire planet. You're marrying a king.
I'm set for life, baby.
Yeah. However, about Snarf, he is not the pet. He is technically a nursemaid. He is a sentient being. And here's the thing. If you had to choose somebody to marry, say, not for love, certainly not for sex, but somebody you could rely on, Snarf's the one you go for.
You're marrying him for utility.
Snarf can cook. Snarf is actually pretty smart, and he's reasonable. You look at Snarf, and I did an entire freaking ridiculous video about this. Snarf's purpose in the cartoon was not for the kids to be like, I like Snarf. It was for the parents to go, that's the only character that has a brain in this entire show.
Damn it, Max, you should have picked marrying Snarf. It usually fits your criteria.
I know, right?
Because you sit there and they're like, well, we're going to go take care of the mutants. Well, I don't know, Lionel. That sounds really dangerous. And my mom's like, he makes sense. That's the stand-in for parents. He's the only one with logical responses.
You need to send me the link to this particular video, then I can put it down below.
Oh, my goodness. All right, so I don't tend to answer those questions because it goes against my moral ethics, but Snarf is a good boy. How dare you? Chitara, I'm more of a Pumaira person. I find her more attractive, were we to be honest about it. And, I mean, I'm a dude, so I'm not going to be interested in Lion-O. And, no.
Well,
so there's your answer, Wolfhead Brony.
That was more than I thought we would get out of you compared to your literal, like, going towards the question and going on a roundabout from last time. So I'm happy with this scenario. But God, we should have ended it on your fucking Leo thing.
Oh, don't worry, we'll get there.
What? No!
Well, that's awkward.
Yes, it is.
A and Y and Key say hi to the people in the chat. The memes are seen on this live stream as they talk about random crap. It's time for awkward guests. It's the awkward. Random guests and funny gags on the awkward guests. It's the awkward. Hard work and analysis, which you do not want to miss on